Tadaima. Today is June 19th, 2025. It's Juneteenth, if I remember correctly. I'm new to the holiday, so I don't really have anything to go there yet. And this is another imperfect recording and video to vlog my efforts. I did make that. Actually, Kaiser called me. Who was it from Kaiser? The Medicaid and Charitable Programs person. And I think I'm at the right level. It might be a little bit loud, but I'll be moving my mouth a little farther away. I've also got the AC going and the washing machine, or the dishwasher going. So I'm curious to hear how this imperfect video turns out. Oh, and I forgot to push this button. So that tells me, this little thing here tells me if I have enough vertical variety that you can hear my words. I'm not just noise. And it tells me if I'm pegging it, because I don't really want to be too loud either. That's not a step in the right direction. So I'm going to hit play, or start. I've got 3 timers here, and we'll see if that helps me figure out my pattern. I'm looking at developing a habit. So, growinggenkiness.me. I've added a few things to the site of yesterday's video. My state of Oregon, before I put the cover letter on it, I read it into the video. Put it on YouTube. And oh my goodness, I absolutely love this video. Ed Sheeran, it's called Perfect. It really kind of reminds me of, I don't know, it makes me feel good about what happens, even if I'm not able to know or anticipate what will be happening. And I put this new video up, the supermodel who lost $7 million. You can see it says betrayed. And I really like how she handled very, very expensive family drama. As a reminder, I don't have any teeth, so I sound like I don't have any teeth. This is where Growing Genkiness starts. I look here, and I still don't have my audio. So I guess I can't. I would like to move on to my second iteration, but I haven't finished my custom music. I have a link from my partner that I was going to use. I'll use it tomorrow. I think that the big thing about this next step is action is the antidote to anxiety. Even if it is not within my power to make things the way I want to make them, if I do something, at least I feel like I've tried. I am the only person I have to live with for the rest of my life, and I think that's a healthy mentality to have. And this is my goals for the week. I am taking an ecclesiastical approach to allostatic regulation. Do I have the self-discipline and mental acuity to stay alive in a world that wants me dead? Let's read a few of these words. I am moving slowly so that those who want to threaten me legally have a chance to talk to my lawyer. Not because she's representing me. She is not representing me right now. But because if I do go to jail, she's the person that I want to represent me next time. Without my teeth, my arrhythmia has gone. Yep. The pain, having all my nerves exposed was excruciating. I no longer need to explain what Trump will do. He's already done it, and even better, we the people are winning. My eyes still limit my efforts. Well, that's true. I'm wearing my bifocals. It doesn't really matter. I think I'm pegging the volume. I'm sounding less articulate. I need to move on. Okay, so that's that. We will turn off this one. Leave the site. Okay. Oops, I think I did that backwards. Whatever. Allostasis. What is allostasis? Allostasis is a physiological mechanism where organisms anticipate and adapt to environmental changes to maintain stability. The process of maintaining homeostasis, internal balance, through changes in the body's internal environment to meet perceived or anticipated demands. This means the body actively adjusts the energy use and other physiological processes to cope with stressors, both predictable and unpredictable. I like this word that I can't pronounce because visually, well, here, I'll show you here. I think of it in these terms. I have my allostasis, and I have the word sissy, and I even have the word cis. I haven't been a very good friend to people because there have been lots of secrets that I guess I never quite knew how to deal with. But I have been a wonderful sister, even to my brothers. And I don't say that with pride. I say that because I have to recognize that I put somebody else's needs above mine at times in my life, and perhaps I should have made different mistakes. What I get from sissy. First of all, sissy, guys use that word historically to imply a weakness. But the truth is that our mothers want us never to understand the pain that they had to endure. Your sister is going to have to teach you how to get along because mom hid stuff. And I think I have more friends that I think of that call me sis or whatever than anything else anymore, because it's how we quickly identify that we want to be allies to each other. Now I am confused about what the desktop audio is popping up. That's still here. I muted it. This is my Sea of Not, or Not Sea, project, and you can see I'm color coding my problems. Now let's get to the meat of it. I'm 7 minutes in. This is ChatGPT. Everybody's, I think, can access it at least for a few questions. And it definitely does make mistakes. But it also, it gives me really, if I ask it for my Tailwind code, it just gives it to me, and that's easier. I know HTML well, but I didn't know Tailwind, and my partner had me use this to get the Tailwind code, which is how I ended up with this site. And all these little dots, have buttons to go places. All right. So I like this quote. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good people to do nothing. From Edmund Burke. Wow. All right. So I asked the question. Let's start up here. I wrote. I'm gonna have to pull it down so I can see it in my focal. I testified against MAGA. My brothers don't understand why/how Trump is different than previous presidents. Can you explain for me why MAGA is a criminal organization unlike any other administration? I want this report simple enough that a fifth grader could read it or could understand it, and compassionate enough to make the reader not feel stupid. I figure I should probably quit using the word idiots to describe people who are MAGA. But I had a lot of emotions behind that. Anyways, here's the answer. Here's a simple and respectful explanation you can share with your brothers. Why MAGA is different than any other presidency. Lots of people support presidents for different reasons. That's okay. But when we talk about MAGA, short for Make America Great Again, the movement started by Donald Trump, we're not just talking about politics. We're talking about dangerous behavior that has never happened like this in American history. Here's how MAGA is different. This is not what I wrote, remember. This is what ChatGPT wrote. It doesn't know what I testified to. 1. Trying to end democracy. Every president loses sometimes, but when Trump lost the 2020 election, he refused to even admit it, even after courts, officials, and his own people said it was fair. He pushed lies about the election being stolen and tried to stay in power anyway, which is against the law. That led to the attack on the Capitol on January 6, 2021, which my brother introduced me to Christian nationalists that intended to do exactly that in 1992. Why do I remember it? My friends told my brother that's called treason and laughed at them. I didn't pay attention to the conversation until my friends were laughing at my brother, and I thought I should defend him. And then I heard what they were talking about, and I just shrugged my shoulders because I thought that was just completely idiotic. And I had just come back from Japan. That was within a year of me being back from Japan. So the idea that we should be nationalists was stupid. Okay. Yeah. 2. Organized lies and threats. Trump and some of his top people pressured election workers, judges, and even his own vice president to help him cheat. They made up fake electors and pushed states to break the law. That's not just plain hardball. It's conspiracy and fraud. Many of those people are now charged with crimes, and some have already admitted guilt. 3. Using hate to gain power. While other presidents have made mistakes, MAGA has encouraged violence and hate. Trump has called for people to be jailed or hurt, called enemies vermin, and praised dictators. He made people afraid of their neighbors, attacked the press, and even threatened judges. That's how authoritarians act, not democratic leaders. 4. Crimes, not just politics. Trump is facing dozens of felony charges: stealing secret documents, trying to rig an election, and covering up hush money. This isn't about the other side being mad. These are crimes that any other American would be arrested for. No other president in history has been criminally indicted like this. Not even close. 5. It's not about being Republican. This isn't about being conservative or liberal. Many Republicans have spoken out against Trump. MAGA is not a normal political group. It's a dangerous cult of personality where loyalty to Trump is more important than loyalty to truth, law, or country. In simple words, MAGA is not just a president I didn't like. It's a group that tried to break the rules, lie to the country, and keep power at any cost. That's why it's being called a criminal organization, and why it's not like anything we've ever seen before. And then it made variations of that same thing that I'll probably read tomorrow. The whole point of what I'm doing here is to create the habit. I am not trying to change the world with any one of these videos. I am trying to find my choir. As a lifelong student, I have looked for the people that I disagree with and talked to them and learned where they're coming from. Everybody who I was supposed to hate, I was eventually able to find compassion for. And honestly, I can even do it with Trump and J.D. Vance. It just takes me a little bit. The problem is that you can't. I ran a family business for 20 years. There were 4 generations. So we ran a business for 20 full years together. My mom is an amazing woman, and she kept us in that house for years with my dad telling us that he was paying child support, but the money didn't ever come. So I have come to believe it doesn't really matter. I think that's enough. Now, I opened those clocks with intentions, but we'll I'm not remembering. I'm having a hard time keeping things organized in my head. It is hard to talk about what happened to me because I have been threatened with jail and worse for talking about what happened to me. And I'm taking the time to put this into voice and make videos because I need for my mom, who is also a victim of violence, and others to be able to see that I am not just mad all the time. When you only put the spotlight on me when I am dealing with trauma that I should have never had to endure, it doesn't look pretty. Trauma's not pretty. PTSD is not pretty. And I spent an entire life thinking I was mentally ill when it turns out I just have an asshole for a brother. And he convinced me I wanted to kill myself, but that wasn't something I was convinced of. And I was able to identify that if he says that, it's my obligation to ignore it. Now, I have been hiding because testifying against MAGA is not a popular thing to do over this last decade. And I didn't know that I was testifying against MAGA when my testimony started. When Dr. Scott Cook in Salem, Oregon, did his forensic interview and told everybody on paper I needed to see a doctor, I legitimately thought they would get me to a doctor. And instead, I was put on the street like a stray cat. And I get to sound a little upset about that. And the fact that I don't burst into tears is at least a lot of healing. A lot of healing has already happened. You can hear how inarticulate I am. I close my eyes in order to focus on my speech, which I don't know is probably some indication of lying or something. And I have reactions now. I get triggered. The whole Trump derangement syndrome. Well, when you know and you're paying attention to what his intentions were, I mean, people like me tried to warn other people that electing this guy was going to mean these things were going to happen. And then we elected him anyway. And I think the biggest shame we should have as a country is not in electing Trump. It's that 65%, I think that number sounded legit when I heard it. I haven't vetted it for myself, but 65% of the population that could vote didn't vote. There are people, I'm going to use the words brother and sister liberally. So I had a brother who asked today, why is Trump different from any other guy? You know, every president is off. You know, there's always something that they do that people absolutely hate. And I can't deny that. But I don't think it's helpful to go to the people who, or the women specifically for Bill Clinton who accused him of rape. I don't think it's helpful to go to those women and then expect them to change their position on Bill Clinton, as an example. Now, Obama was the first Democrat that I voted for at the national level because, honestly, Sarah Palin turned me off, the whole Tea Party bit. And now what I'm hearing is that MAGA started with those Tea Party people. There are people who are smarter than me who are able to explain how it is that we got here using statistics that I didn't learn because I was too busy enjoying my life. And I spent 20 years doing almost exactly what wanted to do, with the people I wanted to do it with, and loving every minute of it. Maybe not every minute, but most of the minutes. And even while I had been homeless, I still found that I had the ability to smile every single day. Even while I've been in pain, I have found it possible to laugh out loud enough that I feel alive every single day, even when I was in excruciating pain that I didn't think would ever end. Um, so I still think I am the luckiest person I know. I have loved my life, and there's no reason for me to be ashamed of what I've done. The only reason I had to hide is because the cost of testifying against family made my heart go into an arrhythmia. I literally couldn't do it because my heart broke. And that sounds so cliche, yet I, well, I had my teeth out and now I feel better. So, um, when you're in pain, your heart behaves differently than when you're not in pain. And Kaiser Permanente, Kaiser Permanente did things that the Better Business Bureau has called malpractice. I need to work on a pro se project to put into um, print what happened to me, not because I want anybody punished, but because we aren't a healthy nation if we're still hiding secrets at that level. We should not be trying to intimidate the mothers away from their kids. And the fact that there is a possibility of me being arrested for this video um, should absolutely demonstrate how off things are right now. I like using the word wonky. Things are just wonky. They don't make sense to me, and I need a support system. And if my family isn't able to, be a support system like I was for them for decades, I'm okay with new friends, but it doesn't mean I have to lie. And I can't abide a lie that I don't even know what it is. I don't know what they said to people that made what happened to me forgivable or like understandable. How did people describe why I've been gone? Where do they think I went? I left the country for a year and talked to people before the internet more than I have in these last years because of the constant threat of not only jail but other. I mean, you can't possibly deny that people who testified against MAGA have been treated horribly, and that's why I have to do this. I have to put out these stupid videos. Well, I'm hoping they're not terribly stupid. I'm hoping they get better. But I had to put out these videos because I need to be able to wake up in the morning and be proud of myself just like anybody else. I should not have to be shamed into hiding. I should not be intimidated into hiding. I should not be threatened into hiding. And using my children, threatening the lives of my children, literally threatening the lives of my children, is a terrible way to convince somebody to be your friend. Now, on a side note, one more thing. Israel is a terrible neighbor. I am not defending Iran here. I am simply saying that I would not want Israel as a neighbor. Um, and that'll be a different video. But that's enough for today. I'm going to have to let this one uh, I can't take another take of it because it's now into tomorrow. I only got in the last few minutes before the day flipped over, and it's a stupid rule, but I'm trying to do this once a day. So I'll listen to it tomorrow, and tomorrow's video will be better. I'll at least get the timer started so I can stay better, so I can stay on task better. it's hard to talk. It's hard to talk when I have been terrorized for years now. And that No Kings March, that No Kings protest told me that we are in a world now that I can finally show my face and share my voice and say, I reclaim my time. And with that note, I'm going to say, ittekimasu.